Alright, what's up guys? John today bringing you episode 2 of How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll be going over the different types of cards in this episode. We'll start with the monster card. This is the normal monster right here. You can tell it's a normal monster by the background and border of the card. It's sort of like a cream color. All monster cards will have the same sort of format. Name up top, the attribute of the monster, the level of the monster right here, and the stars, the picture of the monster, the type of monster, and the text of the monster right here, attack and defense. Now, normal monsters like this will show a little description of the card, so it's right there. And on some cards, you'll see this little thing called First Edition. There are different types of a card, so it's First Edition right there. This is right here a limited edition and your regular. No special thing about it. It's a regular card that got printed. That's that. I'll go over all the mechanics of how the cards work or they're sort of in detail how this stuff works in my next episode, which is like basically playing the game for the first time. So that's a normal monster. Next up is the effect monster, right here. It's basically the same thing. The background is sort of like an orange-brown kind of color, but instead of having like a text of the monster, it'll have an effect. So it'll allow you to do something under a certain situation or during a certain time period of the game. So in this card's case, when this card's double summoned, I can put him in defense mode, and while in defense mode, he can still attack. But when he attacks, it's the his attack points get calculated in damage, instead of the defense points. So he can attack from defense mode. That's his effect. So certain cards may say you can attack directly and other stuff, and it's basically you can do something under a certain situation or during a certain time. The next type of monster is a tuner monster. Now, he looks like an effect monster because they are effect monsters, but they can also be a normal monster. So that you can have a normal or a effect tuner monster. Now, what tuners do, allow you to do, is synchro summon. Now, synchro summoning basically is, it's all about levels. So let's say I have my Colossal Fighter right here. See, he is level, 7 I believe? 3, 6, no, 8, I'm sorry. So at level 8, we need the level to add up to level 8 or above. So let's say I have my Junk Synchron level 3, so I can't do him by himself. So let's say I want to put in my Defense Shogun. So if I have Junk Synchron on the field and Total Defense Shogun on the field, I can tune my Total Defense Shogun with Junk Synchron, which will allow me to synchro summon into Colossal Fighter, and that's that. And going to that, the Synchro monster, white border and background. It's basically an effect monster, but it's a different way of attributing it to him. You need a tuner monster and whatever other it says. This one says one tuner monster, and then two or more or more non-tuners, one or more non-tuners. Each card will be different. So let's say I have a certain card that says it needs one, dark tuner and two or more tuners or non-tuners, or it says I need a level 3 tuner and then one other monster. So there's different, conditions that you need to meet to synchro summon certain cards. Next we have the Fusion Monster. Now, Fusion Monster is used by combining the material on the description of the card. So let's focus on this right here. There we go. It says to fusion summon this card, it'll say we need a multi-hero Sparkman and a Clayman. Now, what you want to fuse is fusion summoning is basically combining the two monsters into one. So to do this, there are certain cards that allow you to fusion summon. The most common is Polymerization. That was the first ever fusion monster card. Also, cards like Fusion Gate, Instant Fusion, Miracle Fusion, stuff like that. All different types of cards now let you fusion summon. Finally, the newest monster card that got released this year is the XYZ card. You can tell it's an XYZ monster by the black background and border. Now, these cards are summoned differently. You see how a regular monster has these stars on the right-hand side, but these are on the left. This is why these are called ranked monsters. So these are unaffected by anything that deals with level. So you see that these are orange with the yellow star. These are black with the yellow star. And on the left side. So, to XYZ summon, you're going to need meet the requirements. So basically it says you need 2 level 4 monsters. So let's level 4 on me. One right here, and then damn, I think I might have one right here in my deck. Right here. Alright, let's say we have Gambar Knight, and June Werewolf on the field, I want to play my number 39 Utopia. So what you have to do is, you have to overlay, like that, on top of each other, and then play your number 39 Utopia right there. And then they'll each have an effect that will most likely deal with, you detaching a material. When these are underneath your card, they are known as XYZ material now. They're no longer, technically they're no longer on the field, so they're not really monsters or anything, but they're known as material. In this case, say he gets attacked, or any monster gets declared an attack on, I can detach one material, so I can detach my werewolf right here to negate that attack. So there you go. It's, each card will have to say you need to detach a certain number of material, or you need to have a certain number of monsters to explicitly summon into that card. So that will be the monster cards. Next we have your trap cards. Now you have a regular trap right here, the purple background, it's the name of the trap card. It'll say in the top right corner, not the attribute, but that's called this trap right there, just trap. Trap card right there, and then the picture of the trap, and then effect of the trap. Now trap cards, the way they work is basically you have to, on your turn, set them like this, and then flip summon any turn after you set them. So that's that. Then we have the counter trap card. So when you play this, you can basically say I activate my Scrap Iron Scarecrow, and then they activate their Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Now I set this last turn, so I can flip that and counter it, and I can use the effect either negate it or whatever it says to do. That's that. Spell cards. We have a regular spell card right here. It'll just be, you can play this on your turn only. Just use the effect. We have our quick play spells right here. So we see that little thing right there, a little thunderbolt kind of thing. That's one of the quick play spell. So if in your hand, while on the field, let's say your opponent plays a monster or anything you want, either on their turn or on your turn, you can play quick play spells, like that, boom, use the effect. Permanent spell cards. Now these also come in permanent spell and permanent trap cards there are. This one is basically ground collapse, so permanent spells mean that they're on the field for the entire game until they get removed by another card effect. So say I play this card, my opponent can't destroy it or anything throughout this whole game, so this stays on the field until my opponent can destroy the card. Next we have an equip card. This is the Axe of Despair. Equip cards basically, give an effect or give points to a monster. So say I have my Gambaba Knight on the field. I can play Axe of Despair, and I attach it to him. So get attached, it can be like this. Or you can just keep it in the back row. And this thing gives him 1,000 attack points, and so on and so forth. It'll give him either an ability or something like that. And our final card is the field spell card. Now, field spell cards are different effects depending on what monsters you have. Like Skyscraper, for instance, it levels up or gives an attack of each elemental hero. Everything that's elemental hero in their name basically gets 1,000 extra attack if they attack a monster and their attack points are lower. So that's that. Certain field spell cards also give points to certain types like Fiend, Dark monsters, or different attributes and different types of monsters. They also decrease the attack and defense of certain types and attributes. They also give you certain effects you can use during your turn. So for instance, the Gateway to the Dark World is a field spell card. It powers up fiends by, I believe, 300 attack points. Excuse me. 300 attack points, and allows you to once per turn remove from play or banish one fiend type monster from your graveyard. Then discard one fiend from your hand to the graveyard to draw one card. So that's an extra effect it gives you. So that's been episode 2. Episode 3 will be basically your first time playing, how to set up everything, where everything goes, and what you do on your turn. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.